Good morning, everyone, and welcome to our first Agriculture and Rural Affairs Committee voting meeting for 2025. I'm going to call this meeting to order officially. I just want to remind everyone we're doing this virtually. Participation will be permitted. Please mute your cell phones and any electronic devices. And if we have any technical issues, we'll put a hold on to that so we can clear that up. And at this point, for all of you that are able, I ask all of you to stand and rise. We'll say our Pledge of Allegiance.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America, to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, liberty and justice for all.
Thank you very much. Our first order of business will be to call the roll. Paula, would you please call the roll?
Chair Paszynski,
Here.
Vice Chair Kincaid,
VBD.
Secretary Sapi, Representative Cepeda-Fraites,
Present.
Representative Doherty, Representative Friel,
VBD.
Representative Green, Representative Hambidge, Representative Howard,
Here.
Representative Khan, Representative Parker,
VBD.
Representative Rabb,
VBD.
Representative Steele, Representative Takak,
VBD.
Chairman Mao, Vice Chair Lawrence, Secretary Cook, Representative Borowitz, Representative Ham, Representative Jones, Representative Kerwin, Representative Grimm-Krupa,
Here.
Representative Mostello, Representative Stambaugh,
Here.
Representative Stender, Representative Zimmerman.
Okay. Pursuant to the House Rule 44, our committees shall operate pursuant to the standard committee rules. Those rules are Rules 1C through 4C. We will now turn to the voting portion of today's meeting. I'm going to call up House Bill 77, sponsored by Representative Venkat. I move to consider House Bill 77. Chairman Mao seconds. Representative Venkat, you're with us. Would you care to speak on that?
Thank you, Chair Paszynski, Chair Mao, and members of the committee. Food allergies, as we know, are epidemic in our society. As an ER doc, I've treated more than my share of these patients, and it's extraordinarily dangerous, the circumstances in which they present. House Bill 77, which I'm very grateful to co-prime sponsor with Representative Mihalik, gives us the opportunity to enact some very common sense safety measures to prevent circumstances that can be very tragic. The bill requires that food retail establishments, have posters in their serving areas about the dangers of food allergies and also have warnings on their menus or in other printed materials so that people can convey that information as part of the food retail process. Last session, I had a family here from my district, the Bryden family from Franklin Park, who very tragically lost their son due to an accidental exposure of cross-contamination from a restaurant. And it's really their advocacy efforts that have, pushed me to want to champion this bill. And again, I think food allergies are a bipartisan issue, are a nonpartisan issue. And I'm very grateful to Representative Mihalik to work with her to bring this legislation before you. And I humbly ask for an affirmative vote.
Representative Mihalik, would you care to discuss this?
Thank you, Mr. Chairman, and thank you to Chairman Mao and the members of the committee for running this piece of legislation so early in this session. We did take a crack at it last session and fell short in the Senate, so we're hoping that we can get this across the finish line this time. It's a simple change, but it could have a big impact. And just like so many other issues, Pennsylvania is sort of behind the 8 ball on this. This is happening in a lot of other states where we're just requiring those servers and managers at the restaurants to be a little more educated, a little more aware, and a little more communicative with their patrons at their establishments. And I hats off to Representative Venkat for taking what's a rather tragic story from a constituent and turning it into positive change. I think that's what we're all supposed to be doing here. So I'm hoping this small change can have a big impact until we can really get a handle on the reasons why these food allergies are just so prevalent in society right now, particularly among children. We've got to do something in the meantime until we can get a wrap on that. So I appreciate you running this piece of legislation today. I would call on my colleagues on both sides of the aisle for an affirmative vote. Thank you.
Thank you very much. It certainly makes a great deal of sense. Any questions or discussion? Representative Borowitz?
Thank you, Chairman. I think we can all agree we don't want to see anyone suffer from a food allergy. The concern here for me is going through the Department of Ag. And so it says the Department of Agriculture shall require each proprietor of a retail food facility to comply. And so you're involving government, and then they have to get that approved by the Department of Ag. I was at Subway the other day. They already have this on their display. You could, QR code and get the allergy information. And so many restaurants are already doing this. This just involves a level of government going through the Department of Ag. And after we've been through COVID 4 years ago, although we quickly forget, the last thing I want to do is make restaurants subject to the Department of Ag having to comply and then turn it in, make sure it's appropriate, make sure that they accept it, and then turn it back in. It's just another level of government for the restaurants to have to deal with. And I think most of them are already doing this. But we do obviously care about children and people that have allergies. But I do feel restaurants are already doing this. So thank you, Chairman.
Tell everybody else, mute your phones, and then I don't. Thank you very much, Representative. Representative Ham.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Allergies are a very serious topic and something that we should take very seriously. While I want to support the bill, here are my concerns. Our small business owners are under attack. Higher taxes, more regulations, more red tape, more hoops to jump through. And now we're going to require these posters. And I'm sure everyone's like, well, it's just a poster, Representative. What does it matter? Here's what it matters. If that poster, my concern is, what if that poster's missing something? I don't know, some exotic allergen that someone may have, and it's not properly posted on this poster. Does it open our small business owners to litigation? We know that we live in a litigative world where everyone's looking to make a quick buck and everyone's out to sue somebody for something. And so I just worry, what are we doing to our small business owners who are already struggling to make ends meet? While this is a very serious issue and topic, I just worry what we may be doing to our small business owners. Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
Thank you, Representative. Representative Venkat.
So Representative Ham and Representative Borowitz, I appreciate your very sincere statements of concern about the legislation. I would just point out a couple things that I think can allay these concerns. The first is the legislation calls for alignment with the food code and from the Food and Drug Administration. So in terms of the types of allergens that might be displayed, they're based on a consensus that comes and is displayed in a very prominent way and is updated. We don't have to revisit it as a legislative body because we adopt that FDA recommendations, now under the Trump administration. The other piece is that I actually think this is somewhat protective against litigation. If we pass this legislation and food establishments are displaying this information, and God forbid something happens, and they followed the legislative process. I'm not a lawyer, thankfully, but I would say that that's a reasonable defense to say we did everything that we have been asked to do from a safety precaution. And I actually think it's opening to litigation if we don't pass this legislation because food allergies are so prevalent. Again, not a lawyer, but I know in the medical profession, we're often asked, wasn't this foreseeable that this adverse outcome happened? Food allergies are absolutely foreseeable. So our passing a legislation, which, I want to commend the PRLA, which is here, which is behind the legislation. I actually think this is an example where government is putting a boundary that is not overly, it is not overly strenuous and can make a difference for businesses who I absolutely want to see thrive and are protecting themselves and, more importantly, their customers with this enactment. So that's how I would answer that question.
Thank you very much. Anybody else? Yes, ma'am. Representative?
So I actually a question, and I to piggyback on what Representative Ham said, for a restaurant such as Subway or Red Lobster or Olive Garden that is a retail chain, this is going to be much easier. But for your mom and pop restaurants, it's going to be another particular hurdle. So genuine question, is the burden going to be on the individual restaurant owner to create a poster, or is the language very clear that they're just being asked to post one that's already been approved by the FDA?
No, they're just being asked to provide the poster that's going to be in conjunction with the Department of Agriculture.
Yeah. All right, seeing no other questions, we'll take a vote at this time. Paula?
Chair Paszynski,
Yes.
Vice Chair Kincaid, Secretary Sapi, Representative Cepeda Fartis, Representative Doherty,
Yes.
Representative Friel,
Vote by designation.
Representative Green, Representative Hambidge, Representative Howard, Representative Khan, Representative Parker,
Yes by designation.
Representative Rabb,
Yes by designation.
Representative Steele, Representative Takak, Chairman Mao, Vice Chair Lawrence, Secretary Cook, Representative Borowitz, Representative Ham, Representative Jones, Representative Kerwin, Representative Grim Krupa, Representative Mostello, Representative Stambaugh, Representative Stender, Representative Zimmerman,
The ayes have it. Congratulations. We'll pass that out of the Ag Committee. Way to go. Next order of business, we call up House Bill 324, sponsored by Representative Cepeda Fartis. I move to consider Bill 324. Chairman Mao seconds. Representative Cepeda Fartis, would you care to explain your bill?
Sure. Good morning, and thank you, both chairman and committee members. So HB 324 comes at the request of Pennsylvania's poultry industry, which has required significantly more certified poultry technicians than ever before as they work to protect their flocks from highly pathogenic avian influenza. The Department of Agriculture has shared several examples of large poultry companies that have sought to have employees licensed as certified poultry technicians, but could not do so as the employees were not U.S. citizens. This is despite the employees being able to legally work in the United States. HB 324 passed out of the House Ag Committee. It also passed out of the House floor and passed out of the Senate Ag Committee. And so this is something that we've been working as a collective. And ultimately, HB 324 will enable anyone who works in the United States legally to be able to become a certified poultry technician once they complete the Pennsylvania Department of Agriculture's training course. And the changes to the law for the certified poultry technician will protect Pennsylvania's 7 billion poultry industry, protect agriculture workers, and create new opportunities for ag workers. And I respectfully ask for your support on this bill. Thank you, Chairman.
Thank you very much, Representative. Any questions? Yes, Representative Borowitz.
Thank you, Chairman. Okay, so it looks like in the bill, we take out citizen of the United States, and then we're replacing it with can legally work in the United States. in accordance with federal and state law. So that these technicians do not have to be citizens of the United States, correct?
Correct.
Okay. I don't like that aspect of the bill.
Are you aware that we do have permanent residents in the United States?
Yes, I am aware of that.
So they
I'm
would
just
be
saying-
applicable to them.
I'm just saying you're in your bill, you're allowing illegals.
That's incorrect. If you
Yeah,
read
it's
the
not
bill
an illegal.
again, it says legally allowed to work in the United States.
Right, that are on work visas.
Not necessarily.
Okay. And then the next question I have, maybe the executive director can answer for me. What all entails when in adding in quarantine orders for the department? The Secretary of Ag will now be given quarantine orders and authority. Can you explain to me exactly what that ability will be with the Secretary of Ag having that authority now? If I'm reading that correctly, that being added in?
The secretary always has the authority to produce a quarantine order
So if he has that authority, why are we adding it into law?
to strengthen it.
To strengthen his authority then for quarantine. Okay, and can you explain to me exactly what, like a scenario of what that would look like with this bill? His abilities and authority that is now strengthened through this? So we're strengthening the fourth branch of government's authority.
Just keep in mind that every one of these individuals don't get that license without complete education in order to be able to deal with something that is very concurrent right now. We're on a precipice of something that could be a national emergency.
Right, just like
So-
COVID. We gotcha. So can somebody explain to me what the Secretary of Ag's authority would be under quarantine orders? Like exactly, how's that strengthened? Obviously through law, like you said, but can you give me a scenario with this bill of what that would look like? Can they go on someone's, farm?
First of all, Secretary Redding is highly qualified and has demonstrated his ability to manage the ag industry in Pennsylvania.
Right, like-
$132.5 billion.
Right, like Secretary Levine during COVID?
I'm just saying to you that Secretary Redding has demonstrated time and time again his ability to conduct the ag business appropriately.
Okay,
And-
so could anybody explain to me quarantine orders, like what that would look like in the scope that the Secretary of Ag would have? In this scenario with poultry technicians going on people's land, what would that look like?
I can't speak exactly for the secretary, but again, he's more qualified and highly qualified to make the decisions necessary for the betterment of the people of Pennsylvania.
Okay, so we're giving him broad authority in something we don't even know what he'll have the ability to do, correct?
No, his ability will be to make sure that we have enough people to be able to analyze the disease that's prevalent and take the proper steps.
Very scary to me, and I'm not even getting an answer on what quarantine orders would actually be. So obviously, I'm a no on this.
I thank you very much. Any other questions? Okay, seeing none, please take the roll.
Chair Pashinsky,
Yes.
Vice Chair Kincaid, Secretary Sapi, Representative Cepeda Fratiz,
Yes.
Representative Doherty, Representative Friel,
You vote yes by designation, sorry.
Representative Green,
Yes.
Representative Hambidge, Representative Howard,
Yes.
Representative Khan, Representative Parker,
Yes by designation.
Representative Rab,
Yes by designation.
Representative Steele, Representative Takak, Chair Mao, Vice Chair Lawrence, Secretary Cook, Representative Borowitz, Representative Ham, Representative Jones, Representative Kerwin, Representative Grim Krupa, Representative Mostello, Representative Samba, Representative Stender, Representative Zimmerman.
It passes. Congratulations. And thank you to all of you for your attendance here today and for your questions. Truly appreciate your concerns. More than happy to meet with the folks afterwards and continue the discussion. Thank you once again. The meeting is now concluded.